Hello and welcome to another video for caregivers community. I'm Danielle and today's topic is trusting your gut over your medical team. Now, this is a complicated subject because you want to trust your medical team, especially as a caregiver and especially for the person that you are caring for, whether it be a parent, a child, a sibling. You just want to trust your medical team because they are the doctors and the nurses that are going to be taking care of you throughout your journey, whether it be a terminal illness or something else. So trusting your doctors and nurses is valuable to you, but also trusting your gut is huge, especially when you are, when you and the person that you are caring for feel ultimately the same way after an appointment or during an appointment. When you and the person that you're caring for have the same gut feeling, that's super important because your gut basically tells you when something is wrong. Doctors all the time tell us to listen to our bodies and to report back, and sometimes when we're expressing ourselves and telling them that we need to be taken care of, sometimes they are not listening to the advice that they give us, that they say to listen to our bodies and to report back, but sometimes they just don't listen to what you are saying. And your gut is basically your compass to get through to get through the issue that you're dealing with and to get past the issue that you're dealing with. And it's really important too that when you and the person that you are caring for share the same gut feeling, because that really means that your compasses are aligned, and that means that there's something wrong that you need to listen to and that you need to report back to the doctors. Now, not all doctors and nurses will not listen. I just know that given medical history and all of that stuff, it just sometimes doctors and nurses do not listen to the patients. And it can be frustrating because sometimes doctors and nurses think that they know everything. Yet when they tell you to listen to your gut, and they tell you to listen to your body, and they tell you to report back to them, and then they do the opposite of listening to you, does not help. Now, I'll give you an example of a situation that I was in with my mom. Okay, so we're going through an issue right now where she's having some bowel movement problems. And the doctors, no matter how hard we try to get them to prescribe a certain medication that does work for her, they refuse to let her be able to have that. Yet, they know that it works for her. So it's very catch-22 because they just do not listen to the fact that the medication that she actually does need, they have the power to prescribe it to her because they know that it works, but they're just refusing to prescribe it to her. And also the fact is that they said that they don't want her to have surgery, but they're not helping us be able to get her bowels moving so she can't have surgery. So I don't really understand sometimes what doctors and nurses are trying to do, because they kind of make up excuses along the way, and that we're kind of having those problems right now, and we're trying to have to figure out how to come up with our own solutions, which is ridiculous because doctors tell you not to be Dr. Google, and yet they don't. When they know the solution and they don't give it to you, it kind of is a problem because they're not fixing the issue that can be resolved. They're just kind of letting you be Dr. Google. They're telling you everything that you shouldn't be doing. When they don't help your diagnosis and they don't help you move forward, all they're doing is forcing you to be the Dr. Google and forcing you to try these different avenues when they have the power to prescribe you something that actually works. It's insanity to me, because they're speaking it at both sides of their mouth. And as caregivers, it can be frustrating because all you want is to kind of be the voice of reason and fight for the person that you're caring for, and fight for the person that you love, because that's what you do. You advocate for them. And when they're not listening to you or the patient or the loved one that you're caring for, it can be very frustrating, because you're around them 24/7. Like, you know what they need, they know what they need. So for them not to listen to you and your gut feelings just can sometimes just be so frustrating, because you know what you're talking about. You're with that person 24/7, regardless of if you work full or part-time. You're still with the person 24/7. You know what's going on with their bodies. You see them. They tell you. You keep a list of, like, if you're smart, you keep a list of everything that they're feeling, which is really helpful when you do report back to the doctor, keeping a list of things that are going on with their body, a list of symptoms that are going on with their bodies, because sometimes doctors and nurses just don't listen. And it's not to say that all of them do, because there are really good ones out there that do take the time to actually listen to you, to respect you, to actually give you what you need, give you the medications that you need, give you the time and space to express yourself and to express your feelings, because you and the person that you're caring for you are both holding a lot of responsibility. And you need doctors and nurses that will turn around and say, I know what you're feeling, I know what you need, I can do this for you, I hear you, I understand that your body's doing this, I'm listening to your gut, you know your body better than I do, I respect that, I respect you, and this is what we're going to do. And there are great doctors out there that are like that, for sure. I'm not saying that all doctors will not listen and will brush you off, but I'm saying that, like, your gut is the most important thing while you're going through this. Your gut is the most important thing throughout your life. It's your compass for everything, but especially when it comes to your medical health, for your loved one or for even yourself. You have to be an advocate, you have to push, you have to keep trusting your gut, regardless of people turning you away and telling you that this isn't the right path for you to take medically. You have to trust that gut, because it's the only way that you're going to be able to fight to either survive if you have a terminal illness, or just to be able to live a life that is comfortable for you. You have to constantly advocate, and advocating is one of the best things and one of the hardest things that you can do as a caregiver and even as a patient, is advocating for yourself, because just people just don't listen sometimes, and sometimes people think that they know better, especially in the medical field, and it's just not always the case. This is why we end up having terminal illnesses go on for too long, and people end up being diagnosed too late, because nobody is listening to them. And the fact that we have to see other doctors for other opinions is just, I find insanity, because this is why we're ending up with people who have stage 3 and stage 4 cancer, because people just do not listen to everybody's opinion and what they're feeling and take it seriously. And that's the hardest part, I find, as a caregiver, is just letting the medical team do its thing, but also the fact that they're not listening. That's one of the hardest parts of being a caregiver, is sometimes when a medical team is just not listening to you. And it's it's like, how are you not supposed to be frustrated? Because you yourself are the caregiver, and you know the person that you're caring for better than like anybody else, and the person that you're caring for knows their body. So it's just kind of frustrating sometimes, because your gut is your truth, and that's the only way that sometimes it will just get things moving along. But it takes forever, I find, with like medical teams to get on board with what you're saying and to actually listen. And I don't think it's just a matter of being in Canada and having like this medical stuff and medical issues. And I know that everybody thinks that Canada is like one of the best countries for medical stuff, but the truth is that they're just as hard as the States, and our medical team is not as great as it's told out in this world. We are not one of the best states with medical stuff. We have just as many issues as the States. We do not have the financial issues with paying for medical stuff, thank God, but we still have the issues with doctors not really taking you seriously, not really listening to you, not really being advocates for your own kind of issues that are going on, and medical stuff and terminal illnesses. And it's just all kind of frustrating, because the person that knows themselves better is not just the caregiver. It's the person that literally is dealing with this illness and dealing with the issues with their bodies. They know themselves better than anybody else. Like, the caregiver can only know so much. So it kind of helps when the caregiver speaks up and says, hey, I believe this person, or I believe my loved one, because the truth is that you do believe them, because that's their body. They know what they're talking about. And if you are, hopefully, I know that being caregiving can be difficult and stuff, but like, if you are somewhat of a good caregiver, you are going to say, hey, you're going to turn around and say to the person that you do love, hey, I hear you, I see you, let's figure this out. Because it's a journey. It's an uphill battle. It's like climbing a mountain sometimes when you're dealing with terminal illnesses, and dealing with the fact that like somebody is fighting something to stay alive, and it's hard, and it's not an easy thing every day to see somebody that you love suffer. Nobody wants to see anybody suffer, especially somebody that you love and care for. So for doctors to turn around and say, hey, I don't believe you, even though that's your body, and that you have a caregiver that's with you 24/7, is very frustrating. So I just want to tell everybody just to keep fighting for your loved one, keep fighting, listen to your gut, keep fighting for people, keep advocating for yourself and for the patient that you do care for as a family caregiver, because sometimes doctors are not going to listen, and there are a few that really are invested in the care of the patient and do really want to see that person survive or thrive. So it's just a matter of listening to your gut. Like, I know this video is versus your medical team versus your gut, but at the end of the day, I think that my advice is, you can take it or leave it, but my advice is to listen to your gut no matter what the doctor says, because you know the person that you're caring for, and you know that what kind of care they need because they're telling you. So I say trust your gut all the way. I say listen to your medical team. Take in everything that they do say, because it is valuable. But I also say listen to your gut and advocate for the person that you really love and you care for, because really at the end of the day, all they have is you. The medical team goes home to their family at the end of the day. You go home and take care of the loved one that you're caring for. So the doctors at the end of the day don't have to think about the fact that, like, you know, they get to hang up their white coats at the end of the day and don't have to think about the fact that the person that they just saw has to go home and now has to come up with a plan to take care of themselves again, or has to continue to fight to live. They don't have to think about that stuff. Us caregivers, and we have to think about that stuff, especially when we love somebody unconditionally. When it comes to caregiving, we have to constantly be in a place of advocate and fight kind of mode. The same with the patient. So I say listen to your gut, and if you liked this video, I know I ranted a lot, but I just wanted to give out as much information as humanly possible. In case it did sound like I was repeating the same thing, it's only because I just want you guys to know that that this is a difficult subject, and that there's no right answer in any situation. But as long as we keep fighting as caregivers and a caregiving community, maybe we can make a difference in the person that we love's life, and maybe they can actually go into, I know doctors hate hearing me say this, and we're not allowed to technically say this, but maybe we can fight for them to be in remission. So I say just keep listening to yourselves as caregivers, and keep trusting yourself, and keep loving the person that you're caring for. So if you have liked this channel, subscribe to my channel. I thank you so much. I really hope that you do like this video, and I really hope that you stick around and that you comment on my video, share it with somebody that you love, and I will see you again in the next video next week. I just appreciate everybody who takes the time to watch my videos, share my videos, likes, subscribes, and shares my video. It helps the algorithm out, get to more people, and it helps me help more people out, because that's mainly what I want to do with this channel, is just to be able to help other caregivers out there, because in Canada alone there is 1 million caregivers, paid and unpaid, in Ontario, Canada alone. So I just want to be able to help as many caregivers out there as humanly possible, because we are not alone, even though our journey does feel lonely sometimes. I just want to be the voice of reason to help everybody out and give the advice and life experience that I have as a caregiver. And I feel very blessed and lucky to be able to have the time to share my life experience with all of you, and also some advice that I picked up along the way, because I feel very passionate about caregiving, and I feel very passionate about caring for other people, especially caring for my mom. And I just feel like just being able to have this channel and to be able to touch other people's lives, and to be able to, hopefully, my main goal is just to help everybody else out, and maybe give them information that they didn't realize that they needed at the time, or just be a voice of relatability, because we all want to feel like we all want to feel a connection and a community, and that's basically what my channel is about. It's about community, connection, advice, because caregivers are the backbone to, I feel like the backbone to every family, and I feel like they're the backbone to society, because without caregivers, where would we wouldn't be who we are. We wouldn't be here without caregivers. I mean, everybody's a caregiver, from a parent to a grandparent to a professional caregiver to a family caregiver. So I just think that it's important for me, especially because I felt so lost as a caregiver, not really knowing what to do, basically learning along the way of just like just do's and don'ts and hits and misses about caregiving, because I didn't have anybody to turn to, especially on YouTube, that could give me advice or I felt like I could relate to. That's why I created this channel, and I just really thank everybody for taking the time to even watch my videos, to like my videos, and to comment on my videos. And I will see you again until next time. Till next week, thank you so much for watching my video.